What if everything you thought mattered doesn't, at least not in the way you think? Because 2,000 years ago, a man walked dusty roads and quietly turned the entire idea of success, power, and purpose upside down. His name was Jesus, and whether you see him as the Son of God, a prophet, or a revolutionary teacher, his words have outlived empires, reshaped civilizations, and still challenge people today in ways that are uncomfortable, unsettling, and deeply transformative. So what exactly did he teach? At the heart of Jesus' message was something deceptively simple: love. Not the easy kind, not the kind that expects something back, but radical, inconvenient, even painful love. Love your neighbor as yourself. That sounds nice until you realize your neighbor includes people who disagree with you, people who hurt you, people you'd rather avoid. And then he goes further. Love your enemies, not tolerate, not ignore, love. Pray for those who mistreat you, do good to those who hate you. This wasn't just philosophy, it was a complete reversal of human instinct, because Jesus wasn't just teaching behavior, he was targeting the human heart. He warned that anger can be just as destructive as violence, that lust can begin long before any action, that pride can quietly poison everything. In his most famous sermon, he described a different kind of life. Blessed are the poor in spirit, those who know they don't have it all together. Blessed are the meek, not the weak, but those who choose humility over dominance. Blessed are the peacemakers, the ones who step into conflict not to win, but to heal. This wasn't about appearing righteous. In fact, Jesus openly criticized religious people who performed goodness just to be seen. He said, when you give, don't announce it. When you pray, don't make a show of it. When you fast, don't look miserable so others notice. Why? Because real transformation isn't about image, it's about authenticity. He constantly challenged the idea that external rules alone could fix internal problems. Instead, he spoke of a deeper change, a renewal of the mind, a rebirth of the soul. And then there was forgiveness. Not just once, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. In other words, don't keep score. Forgiveness, in his teaching, wasn't about excusing harm, it was about refusing to let bitterness define your life. One of his most powerful stories tells of a father and a rebellious son. The son wastes everything: his inheritance, his dignity, his future. And when he finally returns home expecting rejection, the father runs to him, not walks, runs, embraces him, celebrates him. No lecture, no punishment, just grace. That story wasn't just about a family, it was about how Jesus described God, not distant, not cold, but compassionate, patient, and ready to restore. Still, Jesus didn't sugarcoat reality. He spoke about sacrifice. Whoever wants to follow me must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow. That wasn't symbolic language at the time, it was shocking. The cross represented suffering, loss, and surrender. He was saying real life isn't found in chasing comfort, but in giving yourself away for something greater. And yet he also spoke about peace, a peace not dependent on circumstances, a peace that remains even in chaos. Do not worry about tomorrow, he said. Not because tomorrow doesn't matter, but because worry doesn't add anything to your life. Instead, he invited people to trust, to focus on what truly matters, to seek something beyond material success. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if your life revolves around status, money, approval, that's where your heart will be trapped. But if you pursue truth, compassion, and purpose, your life begins to open in a completely different way. And maybe that's why his teachings still resonate. Because they cut through noise, they confront ego, they expose what we often try to hide, and at the same time, they offer hope. Not shallow positivity, but a deep grounded hope that change is possible, that no one is beyond redemption, that love, even when it's difficult, is still the most powerful force we have. So the question isn't just, what did Jesus teach? The real question is, what would happen if you actually lived it?